Hi, I'm Careyann Golliver, America's franchise matchmaker and founder of Franchise Logic. Welcome to our online summit. It's never been a better time to consider business ownership in 2021. Start a business, buy a franchise. Learn vital things to think about before you actually take the leap. I am honored to present to you my hand-picked, talented 10 successful professionals who will share with you valuable insights on things you need to consider when conducting your due diligence in business ownership before you take the leap. As some of you might know, from my own experience, I took my own leap into business ownership over 20 years ago and never looked back. From helping grow our family handyman business from the basement days to a top-rated national franchise that was so successful it was acquired by one of the world's largest retail co-ops known as Ace Hardware. I feel incredibly blessed to pay it forward and deliver free education to others who are seeking financial freedom and ability to be their own boss through franchise ownership. Today, it's no different. I have gathered these 10 professionals and asked them to join me in paying it forward and deliver to you valuable insights that will assist you on your way of being able to have confidence in your decision of business ownership in 2021. Going into business ownership for yourself is a major life decision. With a franchise business, you are significantly mitigating your risk factors because you're actually buying a proven business. Franchising is a great fit for you if you do your due diligence. Franchise ownership can help you accomplish your goals, your lifestyle, your flexibility you are seeking, and allow you to build income security, not job security. I have many people that come to me looking at the beginning and they're thinking their jobs are their safety net, but they quickly realize it's actually their dragnet. They realize they are tired of renting their own time and talent to build wealth for others who can and will get rid of them in a heartbeat. Close your eyes and just imagine, what does being a successful business owner look like for you? What does your day look like? How about when you go home? What does that look like? What is different than what your life is right now? Compare that to your job, your past employment, or when you do get a new job. See, through the 20 plus years, I have worked with thousands of people, and for each of them, success looks like something different. Some common responses that I get are, I'm looking for fulfillment. I have a great job, but it's just not enough. I want to do more. I want to give back. I want to create a family legacy. I want to be happy. I'm ready to reap the rewards of my hard work. Flexibility. I worked with a father who hated missing out on his children's lives because he always had to answer to his boss that made him work during family time. Another one of my candidates told me he was over commuting an hour and a half each way just to keep his job. He was ready to set his own hours. Starting his day with a morning walk with his dog Murphy, helping take turns with his wife and dropping off their other son to daycare. Another was tired of missing the baseball games with their children. Independence, no more reporting to that micromanager determining your success or failure. Gaining back the control, having financial security. If you have a job, you get a paycheck, maybe a year-end bonus. Being your own boss, there are no limits to the amount of wealth you can build. A lot of people go into business ownership to gain back that control of what they make and what they keep. No more layoffs, no more uncertainty, no more living in fear. What I experienced in 2020 were countless employees of even some of the largest companies in the nation who found themselves searching for new work. And many contacted me in the pursuit of finding business ownership as their change because the stress of trying to find a new job or worrying about their next reorg, well, they were done. They were over it. And I've really mastered a very simplified process that focuses on you to gain insight on whether or not business ownership is for you. We've really go inward to have you really take a look at yourself. Is this something that would be a good strategy to further your career? Is this the right fit for you? Is this something you really should be considering, for your next phase of your life? My goal is to help people make the most educated decision to minimize the risk and, of course, to also avoid all those costly mistakes. And my methodology focuses on your transferable skills, your interests, your goals, your budget. And I'm really blessed to be able to help others by matching them to the top level franchise companies and help them really understand how to conduct a proper due diligence on these franchise companies to purchase their ideal franchise. I've been doing this for a lot of years. My services are free to anyone who works with me. Because of all my many years of experience in franchising, the franchise companies use me as a recruiter to help find them their ideal matches. So it's a win-win. And with over 4,000 franchises out there today as the franchise seeker, our free services allow you to be laser focused on the best opportunities that match up to what you're looking for, saving you a ton of frustration and time because we've taken that list and we've narrowed it down to a list of what most of our people we work with will be interested in. The end goal is to get you to a yes or no decision. And I got to be honest, franchise ownership, just like any other business ownership, is not always a fit for everyone. So here at Franchise Logic, we don't sell anything, including franchises. So there will never be any pressure or unwanted sales pitches working with me because my role is a consultant to guide, to give you tools, and place you in the front of the line of some of the fastest growing franchises in America today to explore. Now, obviously, you are tuning in today because you're looking at a career option. You may have been sent our link by a colleague, a friend, a career coach, or seen this event advertised on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You might be at a crossroads in your career. Perhaps you're looking for another investment outside of the stock market or real estate to diversify your portfolio with more control and a higher ROI. You've probably been thinking, do I even want to keep my job? Do I want to look for a new job? Or do I want to take back control and go into business for myself? And if I want to be in business for myself, how do I go about doing this? I like the idea of a proven business plan. Maybe I should look at franchises. Today, we're going to be discussing the 3 different business ownership options. So you can start one, hey, I have this great idea. I'm going to start my own business. Plus, it's my passion. That's an option. Not a great one, but it is an option. Or, hey, I'm looking at an existing business for sale in my area. I heard the owner, is passed and the spouse has the business for sale. And I know the business. I've used their service. Or, my neighbors, or friends, they've owned some franchises for a few years. They've had success. Maybe I should look at that. Certainly, there are pros and cons to each of these business ownership options. So I want to dig into that a little further. If you start a business, the advantage is you have control. You make all the decisions. You can color outside of the lines. You can be as creative as you want. You can change things up whenever you want. There's no following someone else's rules or having to stay within any boundaries. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, keep in mind, this option has the largest failure rate. In fact, January of this year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics stated approximately 20% of small businesses fail within 12 months. That's their first year. And by the end of the second year, 30% of those businesses have failed. And by the end of the 5th year, about half are out of business. They failed. Why? Too many unknowns. And you have to create everything: systems, processes, procedures, HR issues, cash flow creations, all of those things that you don't know are quicksand and can put you out of business in a hurry. So just know that this route requires significant caution. Buying an existing business, there's a natural attractiveness to this option because most believe cash flow is in existence with these. So if there is actual cash flow, it's much easier to gain lending on an existing business than a startup, for sure. And I should also mention that a lot of times the seller will offer financing. So for tax benefits for them, they can act as the bank. If you are looking at this option, not only will your banker, but you also need to be looking at least the last 3 to 5 years of financial statements and tax returns on the business for sale. And you need to be looking for growth. Make sure you're not seeing a decline. What is the real motivation of the owner selling? Is it a good sign if they have established themselves? Yes. It's a good sign if they have customers, employees, and things appear as if it's generally going well. But do they have systems? Because systems should be in place, but there is a whole lot of small business owners that lack that. Documentation, procedures, they're often not organized, even exist, or in actual logical place. So hopefully the seller will offer training and stick around for a while in case you have issues or problems that you can't solve without them if you're now in charge. And, I got to stress, you got to really know why they are selling. There needs to be real motivation there. Otherwise, you might uncover a lot of hidden things and find out you're not fit or you're not wanting to take on a turnaround business instead of a cash flowing business. Even though the employees seem happy today, not all are going to stay when you take over. And you also may see a decline in your customer base as well. I mean, it can happen. How much of the customers were there because of the previous owner and their relationship? Please don't forget the golden rule. People do business with people they know, like, and trust, period. Or you can buy a franchise. And when you buy a franchise, you are buying a business in a box, a proven system and model, a name that means something. You are getting a licensed trademark. You're not creating anything from scratch. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel if you're buying a proven model, right? So the operations manual, the marketing, how the business makes money, the technology, the HR, the training, it's all done for you. And franchises are lower cost than the previous options we discussed because all the expensive mistakes figuring out the proven model and what really works, it's already been spent by the franchisor, not you. And let's not forget, failure rate also much lower, which is very attractive to a lot of people. So when you're looking at a franchise to purchase, you're going to be legally disclosed. So complete transparency from the franchise company, initial costs, ongoing costs, earnings potentials, growth, etc. Now the disadvantage, there's rules, parameters, boundaries. You have to follow them. There is an ongoing royalty payment, and everyone brings this up to me, but it's important to understand why there are royalties. Simply, the royalty allows the franchise to exist, meaning without a royalty stream, there would be no franchise. The proven system is the most valuable aspect of what you're buying, so be thankful you're paying a royalty. And finally, why has it never been a better time to consider business ownership in 2021? Well, I'll tell you, the franchise industry has proven to weather any storm, including a global pandemic. Although it is true that franchises are constantly adapting their systems for growth, the pandemic forced lightning fast, massive innovations with thousands of franchises. And I will tell you that the people I've worked with are truly grateful for the support they received in 2020 and all the creative pivots that they had that strengthened the franchise they own. The future is bright for franchising. 2021 will be a significant launch pad for tremendous years of growth and beyond. At the end of November of last year, the unemployment rate was 6.7%. It wasn't the worst, but it was high. And when large numbers of people are looking for work, franchises have an easier time building a strong workforce. But what's unique to this specific downturn is that in addition to low-cost laborers, it also freed up many seasoned career professionals like you. More to come on this with our panel guest from Edward Jones. But more and more people are seeking income opportunities. Some were laid off and do not want to return to employers that shed workers to pad the bottom line and mollify shareholders. This is a great recipe for future franchisees who are smart, well-educated, highly motivated, and many have budget and management experience. They see the wisdom in a proven business model and have the discipline to follow a franchisor's path to success. They're also driven by personal desires. They're ready to have the authority to call the shots in their careers, setting their own hours, ensuring a work-life balance for family time, as well as pursuit of passion unrelated to their day jobs. Federal agencies say 19.6% of working age adults left the workforce because their child care evaporated. 25 to 44-year-old women almost lost 3 times of that. These women are tailor-made to own a franchise. People with an entrepreneurial desire are reassured that their franchise partner is only a phone call away if a challenge arises in setting up and operating their business. And as we mentioned earlier, independent startups, they lack this support system. 2020 was the worst year ever, but franchisors stepped it up, often reducing franchises' obligations financially and gave them support. And we have people validate with existing franchise owners of the concepts we match, and they hear this from the horse's mouth. Franchises quickly adapted to the new normal, often incorporating high-tech solutions. They began offering creative, new and enhanced online quotes and ordering capabilities. Throughout the industry, meetings and training went virtual, eliminating the need for travel, reducing health risks. Many franchise discovery days moved virtual, with franchisors cleverly sending delivered lunch to wherever the future franchisee sat on the other side of the camera. And these virtual meetings will be a great option for people who can't fly or leave home for personal reasons in the future, because they're here to stay. For franchisors, the pandemic created opportunities that gave adaptations to their current model that created an increase in customers and revenue during a global pandemic. So they didn't just survive, they thrived. And many of my franchisors used the downturn for training, transitioning, upgrades, equipment, things like that. So they were not idle. They improved their business's efficiency, and new franchise owners will be able to reap those benefits. With so many local mom and pop businesses that didn't survive, while it is heartbreaking to think about, when they shut their doors for good, that opened up commercial real estate. It's a buyer's market right now. This means that franchisees needing a storefront can negotiate a fantastic bargain. More to come with this with our real estate panel guests. So you can see why I am totally fired up, and that this is why it's never been a better time to consider business ownership in 2021. Thank you for joining us today. For more information on franchise logic, or to schedule an initial discussion with me to see if franchising might be a right fit for you, please visit franchise-logic.com. Enjoy the summit.